Hi there, my name is Steve Stine, and today I'd like to tell you about my newest guitar video, Thunder Rock Riffs. In this video series, we're going to be learning how to write really cool guitar riffs from the ground up. We're going to be studying various kinds of techniques and some music theory, and most importantly, we're going to be looking at the secrets that go into writing riffs of specific style genres like classic rock, modern rock, punk, metal, blues, funk, 80s hair metal if you can believe it, and even acoustic things like pop music and folk music and even ballads. What's cool about Thunder Rock Riffs is not only are you going to get jam tracks to learn all of the different riffs that I've created, but you're going to get drum and bass only jam tracks so you can practice those riffs, plus you can make your own. But instead of listening to me talk the entire time, what I thought would be really cool is that you and I actually built a song from the ground up. What I'm going to do is create a drum track that's running at 120 beats per minute. And I'm going to add a bass line to it that's going to be adding some low end. I'm going to be playing in the key of A, and I'm going to be using an A, a G, and a D, so check this out. What we're going to do is create a 70s style guitar riff. So the first thing we're going to need to do is create a groove. Next, we're going to add some guitar elements and various techniques. Starting with open chords, we're going to add some distortion on those chords to give it a bit more rock and roll feel. Some single note ideas to create some melody. We've got half time and double time happening with the bass parts to kind of shake things up a little bit. We're going to use some offbeat syncopation in the guitar riff as well. And then we're also going to use some dynamic contrast that you're going to notice using some space. So instead of strumming the whole time, we're actually going to add some air by not actually playing. Alright, so let's break down this 70s style guitar riff. What I used was 3 chords. I used an A power chord, a G power chord, and a D open chord, excuse me. So with the A power chord, what I'm doing is pressing on the 3rd and 4th strings at the 2nd fret with my index finger. I'm strumming 5, 4, and 3. Those are the 3 strings that I'm using. The G chord is just a regular 4-finger G chord, but what I'm doing is taking the 1st finger off and deadening that 5th string with the flesh of my middle finger. Like that. Sounds kind of cool. You can add the 1st finger on and it's just fine. I like the sound of it and I like the feel of it, just to play it as a power chord like that. So I'm taking the 1st finger off, but I am deadening the 5th string. And then the D chord is just a plain old D chord, D major. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine those 3 chords with a couple of different single note guitar riffs. But let's break down the first segment. So I'm moving from A power chord to the D open chord back to the A power chord. And you'll notice I'm adding space in there. That's one of the big elements that we talk about is dynamic contrast, learning how to do different things with rhythms and with sound so everything doesn't sound constant. Now, it's not that I couldn't just strum this, because I certainly could, but what I chose to do was add space. And then makes the riff breathe a little bit, which is kind of nice. Okay, then I'm going to put in my first single note riff. And what I'm doing there is I'm going from the 3rd fret of the 5th string, which is C, with my middle finger. And then I'm going to go to open 6th string, 2nd fret of the 6th string, and then 3rd fret of the 6th string. So I'm using 2nd fret with my 1st finger and 3rd fret with my middle finger. Now when I get to the 3rd fret, which is G, instead of just playing that as a note, what I'm going to do is play that power chord. So I'm going to go... Okay, so I've got A, D, A, then... So you'll notice I have a little space after the A, then D, A, then I stop the strings again, and then I do my riff, and I strum G twice, and then I go to my D, and then I do my other single note little lick or riff that I've got here, and I'm going 0, 3, 0, 3 on the 6th string, 0, 3, which is the E to the G, and I'm using my middle finger for that G again. And then I'm adding a little wiggle, a little vibrato there. And then it starts all over, so here's what it sounds like nice and slow. So you see, with all those elements put together, I begin to create my 70s style guitar riff. Now I'm going to include that drum and bass jam track that I just made because I want you to make your own 70s style guitar riff using that jam track and the various techniques that we've talked about. And I want you to post a link below so I can hear what you came up with. So please make sure you post your questions or comments below so I can respond to them. Because in the next video, we're going to take this guitar riff that you and I have just created and we're going to bring it to the next level. So stay tuned.